So when we have this type of thinking, the thinking of a CEO, we begin to have things done a different way because entrepreneurs solve problems, but CEOs put systems in place that actually begin to run the business. The CEO should not be running the business, they should run the systems that run the business. Did you create a business or did you create a job? Now, before we really begin to answer that question, I want to ask you something. How many things would you do to hurt yourself? Would you go and stub your own toe? Would you poke yourself in the eye? Would you actually do something that actually makes things more difficult for you to eat food? What would you do that would actually hurt yourself and you would do it intentionally? And I want you to correlate that thought pattern with this question. Did you create a business or did you create a job? All too often as entrepreneurs, we think that we've created something that we didn't. And as a result, we end up getting something that we did not actually ask for. And I want to talk to you today why so many entrepreneurs make the tragic mistake of not understanding the difference between a business and a job. Being excited to have set everything up, to be called a business owner, to be a CEO, to have that nice logo and the website finally launched, to make sure you have a location to work, to even hire a team, to even be making a decent amount of money, but to all find out that I really didn't create what I thought I created. I want to go deeper into this insight to really explore the difference between the two and why you need to know how to truly do this the right way. Let me head over to the whiteboard. All right, let's go deeper into this topic of did you create a business or did you create a job? Now, I want to go to my whiteboard and I want to walk you through something here. Now, I want you to consider for a minute, let's say that we have an individual that is inside of a specific company. And inside of this company, right, so they're on the inside of this company and they have a distinct job in this company. Now, let's say that this company is in the business of, right? Let's say they're in the business of actually making bicycles. And so we have a bicycle here and we can, now I want you to think about all the work that may go into this particular job that they have, right? And they, with this particular job, they have become an expert at what they do. And let's say, we got our, let's say we got our little seat here and then we got, here we got our little bike and our handlebars or whatever. And so this is, again, what this person is doing. Now, in doing this, let's say that they work a lot of hours, they're repairing bikes, they're building bikes, and as a result, they are not happy, okay? So this individual is not happy, that's working in the company, he's building these bikes, and again, he feels unfulfilled, all these different issues. Now, let's say that another option is this individual decided to actually build their own company. So here now, we've got another company that's been created, and now they're inside of this company, and again, they're now got their own setup, and now they're taking the skills that they've learned, and they're starting to actually build bikes as well, right? And they're building their bikes here, right? And what's interesting is they come into this scenario and now they're super happy, right? They got their name, involved with this. They're being called the CEO. They got their logo. They got all of this, right? And rewrite that. They got their logo. But let me get another color here. Soon after, we see a transition, and now this person is back to maybe looking even more of a frown here, right? Here in red. So you wonder, like, what happened? Like, what happened? So now this individual, has this distinct feeling. Now, I want you to consider that here, I had a job working for a company. Here, I started a business. Now, I want you to consider for a minute, if we consider both money and let's look at the time in terms of work that I put into this job now, right? Let's say we got a certain amount of time going in. And so let's say that this is, the job side is A, and the business side here is B, okay? So I want you to consider for a minute, so when it comes to making money, when I was working for the job, let's say my money was about here, right? And then the time I spent and the effort that went into it, let's say it was about here. I'm sorry, this is still A, but this is for time. So consider this, that this is the scenario that I didn't like. So now, let me get another color. I start my business. So now with the business here, I'm able to create more money, right? So this money goes up and my time goes way up, right? So this is a really interesting dynamic that we can see here on the whiteboard. And I want to talk to you about this and maybe break this down a little further. Let's head over to the wall. All right, now we're here at the wall and we want to go deeper into this whole situation. Now, I want you to notice here, we started off where basically we have a company situation here where I'm in the company, I was feeling some type of way, but then I began in this company to develop my skills. And so in this job now, here I am making, the bikes and all of this. And when I'm making these bikes, because of my skill set, I'm able to generate income, but I'm not happy because I feel overworked. So this is really a key thing that is a real life thing. How many people are in a company doing whatever particular job and they're acquiring skills, they're developing skill sets, they're developing, abilities, but they're not happy because they feel overworked and they feel underpaid. This is where this, basically we see this frown. Now, when we look at this scenario here, here's a scenario of an actual individual that had the courage to take the leap and actually go and create the company, create the business. I mean, it feels so good to have your company and to figure out, what am I gonna name my company? What am I gonna name my business? Wait till my friends see me, right? That now I started a company. I'm a boss, I'm a CEO, right? I'm a business owner. And it feels good to say those things, right? I'm gonna choose the color of my logo. I'm gonna choose the color of my brand. I'm gonna come up with a slogan. I'm thinking about, all the different decal I can put on my vehicle maybe, or the sign I'm gonna put on a building I'm gonna get one day, right? Or some office space, whatever it is. All these thoughts begin to hit our mind. So as we look at this, so we're end up in a situation where now I've taken those skills I learned in the job, and what I've done is I have just changed the company that I'm doing the same things in. And in fact, when you are not in someone else's company, you're working a lot harder because everything is on you. When you were doing the job before, all you did was work on the bikes. When you come into this job, now you got to worry about marketing. Do people even know about your business? You got to worry about sales. You got to worry about accounting. You got to worry about taxes. You got to worry about insurance. You got to worry about rent and facilities. You got to worry about hiring a team. You got to worry about workman's comp. You got to worry about how, if the job isn't done to fulfill those orders, that it's up to you to make sure those orders get fulfilled. So now we go back here, I actually am now here building out, using the same skills I had before, but now I'm even more overworked. And this is the challenge of individuals that think that they actually have created a business, but they really created another job, right? So, there's a reason that we often call these entrepreneurs that are in the world today self-employed. So you are employed by a company, now you're just self-employed. So you now have done this to yourself now, there's no one to blame. You're the reason you're working so hard. You're the reason that you have the stress. You're the reason that you're sleep at, I should say, need more sleep when you realize you can't get that rest because there's so much weight on you. Before you could blame them, now who can you blame, right? Now, check this out. So when we think about this and we go even further, now we begin to look at the results of this. So we start seeing that now where the A here, I was having a certain amount of money and I was working harder than the amount of money they were giving me, no doubt about it. So if you're working in a company, they're definitely gonna be making more off you, right, than they are giving to you. That's just a given, no matter how high you go up. But when you think about it, when I started the business in red, I actually was able to make more money because there's no limit. I'm not limited by the rate per hour or the salary I've been given. That is a limit. So now I can make as much money as I can produce results for a customer. So I can go as high as I want. But on the flip side, I'm working harder than ever because there's so many other things that I have to do to really make sure that this, business is successful. So you want to consider, this is why so many entrepreneurs only go so far, and 90% of entrepreneurs never earn $1 million. So we have to understand the distinctions of what it really takes to build a successful business versus the fact that I just started a business. Now, as we consider this, let's look at a different scenario by heading back to the whiteboard. All right, now I want to talk about the difference between actually being self-employed and creating a job business versus really creating a business. So now let's go back to our whiteboard scenario, and I've cleaned off the canvas a little bit to talk about when this individual left the business. Let's consider, though, now that this person did something completely different this time. They had a different approach. And let's consider for a minute that now this individual had a different mindset. And they start understanding that business is about systems. And what they begin to do is they begin to create a framework. And they begin to think about the actual process of building this bike. And they begin to break down and understand, what does it really take to do this? What is it that I'm doing that makes this whole scenario work, right? And so they came up with their own system for how this whole thing should work. And as a result of this, and understanding how to actually use systems, because business is a system of systems. So being that this person got the right development and understanding about really creating a business into a vehicle that can actually generate wealth and results and success. So now, this individual was able to start training other people, right? They were also able to standardize the quality that is expected. We're also able to control cost, right? These are just a few things. And let's say, as a result of this that was built, they were actually able to start several companies, or I should say locations. We're just going to take this, and this could be, don't have to have multiple locations for this to be a benefit, But let's say this is B1 and B2, B3. This could even be separate opportunities within the same location where now there's more types of bikes they can do, or they've created leverage where now they can do more bikes in an hour or in a day than this individual could do by themselves. But if this person, whether this is more product lines, whether it's more locations, what this person has done is created leverage, right? So they've got some process leverage, some people leverage. So here we've got process that is creating leverage, is allowing me to do more with less, because now my process has really begun to define exactly how things are supposed to happen to get a desired result. We've got people here. And let's say that there's also been some automation to help do things more efficiently. All this is happening because this person is building a real business. There is a culture for these people to grow and to, actually develop. And there is really, really, tight systems that are making this whole thing operate like a machine. Well, now we're in a situation where on the money side, we're going to look more like this, while the time actually making effort building bikes and stuff has went down. Now, this is an amazing thing, where now we're in a completely different scenario, because this person has actually built a business. Now, I want to talk a little bit deeper about this, so let's just keep all of this in our mind and let's head over to the wall. All right, so now we have learned that there's a distinction, and we have learned a different way of looking at what it really means to create a real business. So when we have this type of thinking, the thinking of a CEO, we begin to have things done a different way, because entrepreneurs solve problems, but CEOs put systems in place that actually begin to run the business. The CEO should not be running the business, they should run the systems that run the business. So let's go back here and look at the wall. So consider now that what we've done is totally different. We have now created a business that has some intelligence in it. We have built a system that now can take the knowledge that I have and actually begin to replicate and duplicate that knowledge into processes and operations that can be followed by others to create new opportunities. We have created leverage. Leverage is when I can, for an input, get a greater output. So when we create things that create leverage, we create a lever that allows us to lift things more than we should be able to lift because of the leverage. So if we have a process that makes the whole, exercise of building a bike become easier because we have built a organized process, I just created a lever that allows me to lift up more revenue, right? To lift up more success, to lift up more wealth creation that I shouldn't be able to lift and couldn't be able to lift by myself. If I get a team, if I get people, if I get individuals now that know how to do things like I would do it, because I've taken the expertise that I had and I begin to put it into something that can be duplicated and replicated. I'm thinking about how to not be the bottleneck in my business. I'm thinking about how to actually create the value in other people that can lead to the value I want to give to my customer. So the filling of the team, the empowerment of the team, allows me to create more leverage through people. And now what 3 or 4 can do is going to greatly, greatly surpass what one person can do. So here we are again. We have these people, and because my systems are strong, I'm able to ingrain quality into how the operation works and even use automation to just shrink down the time it takes to do things, to automate things that I had to usually check myself, to begin to do things in a way, leveraging technology, leveraging smart equipment to make sure that I'm actually investing in my business for it to be a business. This is what's wrong with so many entrepreneurs. They struggle to invest in themselves, and at the end of the day, they don't realize the difference between a cost and an investment. And when they think that something's a cost when it's really an investment, they don't see the return. They only see spending money. And then they waste time and money on things that don't yield a return. And as a result, they end up in a situation where the business loses. So when we look at these results, consider this. We got a whole different scenario now where we have our money now that is almost limitless, right? I can grow now way beyond anything that I could have done myself. I'm on a trajectory that is always going upward because I have expanded my capacity to generate wealth. And I have now taken the time I used to use, right? And this is time doing manual labor, building bikes, doing all that. Now, there will be other time that I have to spend, right? Now I'm managing, I'm overseeing, I'm expanding. There's still time, but this is the time I used to spend building bikes, right? Working in the business and not on the business. That time has gone down. I am now doing less work than when I had a job working for another company. So what am I doing? I have got to the point where I've created a real opportunity for me now to exponentially grow, because now I've left the corporate ladder and I've created my own ladder where now I can expand as far as my imagination can take me because I built a vehicle to take me there. Now I want to give you just a few final thoughts. So I hope you can see the distinctions between really creating a business or just creating another job housed in a business. So we want to understand how to clearly get the full benefit of entrepreneurship. Business is one of the most beautiful things that you could ever be involved in, because there are so many things that were built around the actual, having a business so that you can pay less taxes, so that you can have more freedom, so that you don't have a ceiling on your ability to make more wealth. By the same token, we got to really make sure we build a business so that it can serve us, so it can be a vehicle to a destination, a clear destination, a destination that's going to support our family, our legacy, and give us the peace that we actually all want in our life. And so I want to really challenge you that if you're an entrepreneur out there, if you're serious about your business, make sure that you find information and mentorship to guide you to really build a business the right way. And this is why I focus so much on helping entrepreneurs to understand how to really think like a CEO. CEOs think in systems. Systems build businesses. And when those businesses are built by systems, those are the businesses that get acquired. Those are the businesses that get sold. Those are the businesses that get franchised. Those are the businesses that make the big money. There's a reason there's a person on the corner who has the best food, but they cannot compete with the business that has systems and is in every major state. We have to understand that systems is the secret. And as you learn more about that, you will begin to grow in your business. For more information, and find out everything you can about some of the things that we offer, you can learn more in our description, but make sure you take the time to be a true CEO. I am Mike Lee Parker, the CEO Maker. Make sure you charge, expand, and overcome. And remember, the foundation to any great business is the systems they use. Until next time, I'll see you then.